What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Libria Jones, also known as the Remote Work Queen. If you don't know who I am big on life-work balance. I am what I would call a life-work balance advocate because the living comes first. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about why you should be a VA. I brought a friend here to share more information, but let me give you a little bit of background about me. I have a course called the Remote Ready Bundle that walks you through the 4 phases of finding and landing remote work. You can grab that at the link in the description box. I also have a free community that you can join and get a whole bunch of resources, information, and even support for landing a remote job. You can also upgrade to the full access community and get access to weekly live Q&A sessions, weekly masterclasses, and all kinds of goodies. And I also host a conference every year. And the next one is coming up in March. The next conference is in March, Hannah. Can you believe this? This will be conference number 3 for us, which is wild. But that's me. All of that information you can access in the description box below. I also share a lot of free resources right here on YouTube. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and you can follow me on Instagram as well. Now, enough about me. I want to introduce my girl, Hannah. So Hannah and I met in Barcelona.
We did.
I just like saying
5 years, 6 years ago, something like that.
And we've been cool ever since. I don't think we've actually seen each other in person since we met.
We haven't. We need to change that.
Years ago. We've got to do something about that. But I brought Hannah here because Hannah is the GOAT when it comes to unlocking freedom for people and helping them move and transition into roles, into a specific role that helps people live and work from anywhere and make good money and do great things. And so I wanted Hannah to introduce herself, and then we're going to talk about Hannah's 5 reasons why you should consider being a virtual assistant. So first up, Hannah, tell us who you are and what you do.
I'm Hannah. I'm Hannah. I am a virtual assistant coach. I also help entrepreneurs who want to hire virtual assistants with matchmaking as well. I'm a digital nomad of 14 years, and I'm currently in Mexico. Do you want me to go deeper than that, or are we good?
You in Mexico? Oh yeah, that's right. I feel like I can never keep up with where you are, but I don't know why I'm tripping, because I know that you just recently applied for or got citizenship in Mexico.
Residency, but we're leaving already. We'll talk about that another time.
Hilarious. Que bueno. Okay, so tell us what you do with Digital Nomad Kit.
Yes, we help people who want to move into remote work being self-employed as virtual assistants. So we can go into what a virtual assistant is if you like. But that's what I do at my core. I have an online course. I have a free course. We have lots of resources. And we've trained over 20,000 people over the years. So we are one of the go-to organizations for doing this now, which is pretty cool and exciting. And yeah, that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Then we help people with hiring as well. But I'd say the majority of what I do is supporting people and getting to this kind of work. I'm really passionate about this because it gave me the freedom that I have in my life for all these years. And I want other people to be able to experience that as well.
That's wild. You said 20,000 people. That's 20, comma, 000. That's a lot of people.
It is.
At this point, like you're reaching like certification program point. Like you might be able to start a certification program.
I've been thinking about it. Yep.
Of course you have. Who am I talking to? Can you tell us a little bit really quickly about your story and how you got into this?
Yeah, sure. I kind of fell into virtual assistants. I was traveling for a few years. I've been traveling most of my life since I was like a late teen. That was always like a big priority for me. I wanted to see the world. I didn't love where I grew up, wanted to do different things. So I made that a priority. So I was traveling, doing work exchanges. So I was working in farms and bars and with husky dogs and all kinds of random things. And at one point I ran out of money, because that's what happens when you travel for a long time. Even though I was working for food and board, I wasn't necessarily working for money. So I didn't need much money, but you need money for the train to the next place, or, new shoes or whatever. So at some point I realized I'd go back to the UK, and I thought I'm just going to go get a job and figure out life the way everyone else seemed to be. But I was really lucky because I was intercepted. I met someone who worked online, and I was like, wait, you work online? That means you can work from anywhere. So please teach me everything you know. And she did very graciously teach me everything she knew. We started a company. Actually, she had a company already. I kind of came into it in web development and SEO, which I still don't know much about.
Yeah, I don't either.
No. But it turns out that the people that needed web development and SEO also needed other help. They needed social media help. They needed help with their correspondence, their inboxes, their diary management, calendar management. Sorry.
I'm gonna translate. Correspondence. She means like
English to English.
Emails, agenda, diary.
Wait, what? Correspondence is not a thing you
We
say?
don't use the word correspondence.
Seriously?
What are you, Shakespeare?
Thou art due correspondence. Yeah, so that kind of stuff. So I started taking on those kinds of roles with the clients that she had. And it wasn't until someone referred to me as the virtual assistant that I was like, oh, there's a name for what I'm doing. Yeah, so that's how I got started. And then I found the term digital nomad and this whole online world. I was like, oh my God, there's like so many other people out there doing this. This is so cool. And I started a Facebook group where I just wanted to meet cool people online who were doing what I was doing. And I was sharing my experiences in there, like what was happening for me with my clients. And within that first year, I was earning already $5,000 a month every single month, and some months $10,000 a month if I took on project-based work as well. So that it turned out that not many people were having those kinds of results, and they were asking me how I was getting these kinds of clients, how I was having this kind of success, what I was doing. So I threw together a quick 5-day challenge that I'd like literally in the moment. I was like each day like, what would be the next step? Let's do this. What would be the next step? And then it's been 7-ish years now, and we're still running that 5-day challenge. It's adapted and changed over time. But yeah, that's how I got started, and it moved into training, and here I am.
I love it. So do you still do virtual assistant work yourself?
I don't anymore. No.
So you train virtual assistants on how to be virtual assistants. You also hire virtual assistants, and you help small business owners or people, whoever that needs it, hire virtual assistants as well. So you do virtual assistant matching.
Yes.
So you know a lot about virtual assistants, right? From the standpoint of like, you've done it, you've trained people to do it, and you've helped people get hired doing it.
Yes.
All right. So I want to break down for the people, because I know there are a lot of folks out there that are like, what does a virtual assistant do? Right. And what is the point and purpose? Like, why should I consider this? Why should I listen to Libri and Hannah today? Could you really quickly tell us, what does a virtual assistant do?
A virtual assistant can do pretty much anything you can do online. If somebody needs assistance virtually, you could be a virtual assistant. Generally speaking, the tasks that you might complete as a VA would be under the category of administration, technical, or creative. So within those 3 buckets, there's endless scope of what you could do. So if you just want to like think just about one business, administration, like it's correspondence. I just
hired a virtual assistant to manage my email inbox.
There you go.
I also just hired a virtual assistant to manage setting up the master classes that we do in the Quit Commuting Academy. So managing programming, right? Finding people to host master classes, getting them onboarded, getting them the information, and then setting up the events in the community. My daughter has been a virtual assistant to a developer before.
Very cool.
He just needed someone to like go through different things and like copy code and send him the code. Like literally just copy and paste code into a document and send that to him. And he paid her, I think he paid her like $75 for like 2 hours of work every time she did it. And so again, you can do virtual assistant work across a number of different things. It could be scheduling, it could be emails, it could be calendar management, diary management. It could be, it could literally be pretty much anything. And I think as your skills grow, you can like, niche out and focus in something specific as a become an expert or a pro in something specific, or you can decide to be pretty broad. So that said, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the reasons why people would want to be a virtual assistant. I want to hear from you and talk through with you. What are the 5 reasons a person should consider being a virtual assistant? So reason number 1, hit us with it, Hannah.
Drum roll. Reason number 1 would be that you get to do work that you enjoy. Like we just said, there is so much endless scope about what you can actually do. You can bring in your existing skills, but also you can bring in what you're actually interested in doing. We have all these skills. We're not necessarily like all those things we've done before. You can do what you actually enjoy doing, and you can upskill in that area and explore and change and pivot. And there's so much space to grow into something you really love in this career. So that's reason number 1, I think.
I think that's a really good reason. And I think a lot of people, I assume that when a lot of people think about virtual assistants, they think it's just someone like shuffling papers, right? Virtual papers. And they think about someone not being paid very well, right? To do things. And I think that people miss the calling and the idea that, again, you can focus on something specific. Like if you're really, really great at managing and building communities and being a community manager, that's virtual assistant work, right? right? And so I have found that a lot of people that move into this role tend to really love it, right? Especially if you like to do a lot of the behind the scenes work that makes things grow.
Yes.
Right. And so do you find that people kind of move into this role timidly and then it's like, oh my God, I actually love this? Or they move into the role and they kind of do a hodgepodge of things, but they figure out what they're really good at and what they enjoy the most, and they start doing that?
Like a combination. I think a lot of people are like, I don't really know. I'll take on a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then when they finally realize what they enjoy doing, they start identifying what they enjoy doing, because you can start right away and you start figuring it out. Then they're like, oh my God, I didn't realize how much freedom I have with this and how much I can really enjoy this. So I think a combination of what you just said.
What's reason number two?
Reason number two is you get to choose who you work with. So a lot like how you get to choose with what kind of work you do, you get to choose who you want to work with. You don't have to just go with what you're given. And that is another reason why this just brings you so much freedom and flexibility. So working with people you enjoy working with, whose values you align with, whose mission you can get behind, I think that's a really big win for this.
It is. And I feel like a lot of people don't realize that in life you have choices, right? You can take charge, and a lot of people don't feel empowered to make those kinds of decisions. And it sounds like when you move into a role like this and you decide what kind of clients do I want to focus on and who do I want to take on as clients, you're really put in the driver's seat of deciding who you're working with and how you're working with people. All right, hit me with number three. We're on number three, right?
We are on number three.
Number three.
Actually a good piggyback of what you just said there about, you are prospecting, you're not necessarily on an interview. You manage your own schedule and structures. So you don't really have a boss, you are your boss. So you get to decide. So for me, that was really great because I work really good in the evenings. I'm not someone who's going to get up and do a 9 to 5, because at 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I'm like, so it's not going to happen. I work really well from like 4 p.m. to about 10 p.m. Like I'm like at my most creative. So virtual assistants allowed me to schedule my own sort of work in order to be most productive when I'm most productive. So that was a really big thing for me. And I know it's a really big thing for most VAs as well, as being able to have that structure. If you've got kids at home, or you have, a different job or something that you do, maybe you work for a charity. I have someone who lives here in town who works for an animal charity and works in the mornings for that. And in the evenings, they do VA work. So you get to move it around your life and not the other way around.
I love it. So flexibility is huge. Like people want flexibility. And I think one of the things that a lot of people hate about, working remotely for, major companies and, yada, 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 is that you're in meetings all day. Right. And I think, or it's been my experience, that VAs typically don't have to sit in meetings all day, right? It's very individual work where it's like you take your work and you get it done when you can get it done, which is super, super cool, especially for folks that, you like to sleep in, or maybe you like to get work done early in the morning. I'm an early in the morning type of person. So I'll wake up at 4 or 5 in the morning, like crunch some stuff out and be done by like 11 and ready to just have my day to myself. Right. And so I love this idea of you having the flexibility to kind of create your day and design your day the way that you need for you and for your family, which is a huge deal and a huge unlock. And you also mentioned giving people the opportunity to do extra work on the side. So you can decide whether or not you want to be full-time. You can decide whether or not you want to be part-time, or you just want this to be a little, extra money on the side. So maybe I just have, one client that I work on 10 hours a week to make a little extra money, or maybe it's part-time and it's 20 hours, or maybe it's a full 40 hours. You get to decide, right? I think that's pretty cool. I love that. I love it. I love reason number three. Reason number three, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of reason number three. Well, something else, and we're talking about times of the day, but you can also take that, you can extrapolate that out to be, days of the week. I only work on Mondays through Thursdays, or Mondays through Wednesdays, and I, take off Thursday and Friday. Or you can say, I'm only going to work 6 months out of the year, 9 months out of the year. Right. And you structure your contracts, you structure your agreements, you structure your projects so that they do that. Right. So you can say, I'm going to take the summer off and travel with my kids. If you want to. So that's a really huge level of flexibility. That's a big one.
It is. I want to add to that as well, is that one of the things that I've found over the years is realizing that weekends don't really mean weekends to me anymore. And they haven't for years now. And I think that's something that it took a while to really fill into. I started like planning, like, okay, I'll go out with my friends on a Friday night or a Saturday night. And then like when I started having more friends who are VAs, they're like, why don't we go out on Wednesday? And I'm like, why not? Like, why not?
We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, it's cool.
I love it. I'm kind of jealous, actually. All right. Reason number 4.
Reason number 4, which is you have plenty of space to upskill and you can earn really big money as a VA. Yeah. So you can earn, like, you can get started at like $15, $20 an hour. You can go all the way up to $100 an hour. And plus, if you move into consulting, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of scope for you building upon your initial income as a VA and growing a really, really profitable business.
I think folks are so afraid of VA because you hear these stories and you see people on like Fiverr and Upwork who hire VAs from different parts of the country for $3 an hour, $5 an hour, and people feel pressured to compete with that, right?
Yeah.
You're in the US, and I mean, $5 is not even gonna get you a Happy Meal at McDonald's, right?
No.
But you're worried about competing with someone who's in the Philippines, for which $5 might be a little bit more, right? So I think that people make these assumptions that VAs don't make that much money. And I'm going to tell you, based on the proposals that I get every time I ask for a VA, that ain't true.
No, that's not true. You know, and
true.
It's not to say that that doesn't exist. That does exist. And
Yeah.
we could talk about that another time. I think there's a lot of problems with that.
Yeah.
But there are as many, if not more, people hiring and paying you for the value that you deserve to be paid. More people now are aligning with paying people based on their skills and experience and the value that they're bringing than their nationality or their location.
Yeah.
So that, you know, like I said, I wouldn't be in business if this didn't work. If people aren't making good money, I wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be pushing this career and saying this is a great thing to do if it didn't work. Like, you can out of the gate, you can make $35 an hour if you have some admin experience. Like,
absolutely.
You can make good money with this. You can make great money with this.
Number 5. Hit me with number 5.
You can work from anywhere in the world, literally anywhere. Like, I know that some places they say like you can work remote, but this is like remote. Like, you could work from Antarctica if you wanted to. You can work from anywhere.
So let's go back. So like
anywhere.
if they had internet on Mars,
yep,
I could work on Mars.
Might be a little bit hot, but yeah.
If I wanted to. So this is one of the things I love the most. And I think that so many people that follow you and I, and so many people that are watching this right now are going to watch it, they care about having that level of flexibility. So many people want to be able to travel, right? So many people want to be able to move abroad. So many people don't live in the US and want to make, good money, right? And want to expand their skill set and also, just increase their income, right? So I love this. I love the fact, I think this is probably one of my favorite things about this. Too. So you yourself have lived in how many countries, or lived in and or traveled to how many countries 58. In the last 58?
58. Yeah.
You didn't live in all of these countries though?
No, I lived in probably like 6 or 7. Yeah.
So you've lived in 7 countries. Let's talk about the countries.
I'd say live is like more than 6 months, right? Like, yeah, like 6.
Okay. So countries that you've spent more than 2 or 3 months in.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I know a few of them. Thailand,
Austria.
Thailand more than once, Mexico. Though. You've been back more than once.
Austria, Mexico, Hungary, Italy, Germany. When
you've been so many places you can't even remember them. These good problems. No, but this is the beauty of what you do for a living, right? The beauty of what you do for a living is you can literally do it anywhere and you can do it on your terms. Yeah. Right. So for all the folks that are like, I would love to be able to pick up my kids and travel during the summer when they're out of school, or, I would love to be able to move abroad. I actually met a woman, or I got feedback from a woman who her husband and her didn't live in the same country, and she got a remote job. And so she was able to move to the country with her husband. Like, I got chill bumps just thinking about that. Like, you couldn't even live in the same country with your husband until you got a remote job. Right. And so just the unlock there, like, guys, I just feel like you should repeat it again. You can work from where? anywhere, she said. And it's very frustrating because you mentioned this. That's that whole American egotistical situation where it's like you'll see a remote job post and it'll be like remote from anywhere. And then when you talk to them, what they meant by anywhere was anywhere in the US.
Yeah.
It's like, the world is bigger than the United States, right? When I hear anywhere, it means anywhere to me.
Yeah.
To me, it means Bali, it means Antarctica, it means Ghana, it means anywhere that there's an internet connection. But a lot of times they mean anywhere in the US. But as far as this goes, it's anywhere.
And
literally.
You get to choose. No one can dictate that.
I feel like everything that you've mentioned, every one of those reasons like boils down to freedom and choice.
Yeah. I always say it's like having complete sovereignty over your life. Like you have the complete power. And I love that. If something's not working for you, you can say no. If something you want more of, you say yes. You have to be confident and you have to go out there and ask for it, which is what I teach. A lot of what we do is mindset work as well, because it's important. If you're coming from a 9-to-5 mentality, you do need to work on that if you're a bit nervous. But at the same time, once you start stepping into it and realizing how much power you do have, it can become an amazing career for you, an amazing lifestyle that comes with it. And I think that's the thing. It is a lifestyle career. It is.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a lifestyle career. I like that you said that. That's a really good call out. Like it's a complete lifestyle change and upgrade. A couple of things I do want to mention that I think are good reasons that I'm going to call the bonus reasons. These are the bonus reasons. As told by Libria anyway. So one of the things that I like about the virtual assistant space is that it does not require a specific degree or background to do it. Pretty much anybody can roll into this, no matter their age. I mean, if you're 10, obviously, but no matter their age, no matter whether or not they went to college, no matter, what they've done for the last 10 years. You have so many people that feel like they're stuck and trapped in their current career, or they're stuck and trapped because they work in very physical workspaces, right? So you drive trucks, or you work in a retail store, or, you do something very, very physical. And so the unlock here is that the barrier to entry is pretty much non-existent, besides what Hannah just mentioned about mindset. That's your barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Right. I get so excited about it for that reason, because literally no matter what your background is, no matter if you have a degree or not, right? No matter if you have a high school diploma, GED, like you could move into this role as long as you are willing to accept the mindset shifts that Hannah's going to teach you how to accept and shift over. And
I want to add, like, I didn't know anything about working online. I was working in farms and bars and like in-person jobs, not online at all. And I figured it out. You figure it out. If you're here on YouTube watching this video, you already know enough to figure it out.
The second thing that I wanted to point out that I think is a bonus, another plus, is we keep talking about flexibility. Like that's the common theme here, but it's flexible in a way that you can choose to work for a W-2 company. You can choose to be a freelancer. And I know a lot of times, a lot of the people that you work with end up choosing to be freelancers, or you can choose to be a contractor as well. Right. So there are companies that hire VAs as contractors, and they basically get all the clients for you. And so it's flexible in how you work, and you can decide, we talked about this earlier, if you want to be full-time, part-time, or like middle time. What would you call less than part-time? Less than part-time. That is
like a side hustle, I guess.
Side hustle.
I hate the word hustle. Side
hustle, right? So it's so flexible from a standpoint of, man, I can decide to actually go be a W-2 employee. I know for a fact that Amazon right now is hiring executive assistants and virtual assistants, right? Or I can say, you know what? I want the flexibility and freedom that Hannah was talking about, where I get to set my schedule. And so I'm going to do this as a freelancer. Or you decide, I don't want to sell. I don't want to go sell work. So I'm going to be a contractor and go contract with a company that just is going to hand me clients. Right. And so that level of flexibility, like the amount of flexibility in this role is something that I don't see across a lot of roles. I'll be honest. For that reason, I think virtual assistant work is crazy. Like, I feel like I'm talking myself into being a virtual assistant in this conversation. Like,
I have this free challenge.
So let's talk about the challenge, actually. So let's
Yeah.
talk about the challenge. It starts September 19th and
Yes.
goes through September 23rd. Let us know what the challenge is and what people can expect. But before she does that, I just want to tell you, because I know someone's already wondering how they sign up for it. The link is in the description box. I promise you, it's there. Hit that description box and sign up for the free 5-day VA challenge. Tell us about it real quick.
Cool. Yeah. The challenge is free. And it is designed for anybody who wants to sort of figure out if this is a career for them. Like I said, we've been doing this for years, and we've got this structure now that helps people get their foot in the door and actually get results within 5 days. If you commit to doing the 5 days, you could get a client. If you don't get a client, you're going to have a lot of clarity. If you don't have a lot of clarity, it's probably because this is not for you. So in day one, what we look at immediately is your existing skills, because you have them whether or not you think you do or not. We pull them out. We have some exercises to pull out those existing skills and show you how they can be applied online. We then get you to look at who you might want to direct those services towards. So you're figuring out what you might want to do, who you might want to serve, and why you want to do it. We look at your why a lot as well, because I think we've spoken about it before in the past, but understanding why you're doing this is really important, because it's not always going to be easy. We're talking about how great it is. There are hard days. There are hard days in any career. And so going back to your why can also help you just keep disciplined, keep motivated, remember what you're working towards.
Your why is a North Star, right?
Exactly.
You get lost, you can get right back to it.
Yep. Exactly. So on day one, you come up with a sort of declaration of sorts where we sort of figure out that kind of stuff we just spoke about. Day two, we talk about money, because everybody, at the top of the head, they're going, well, how much money can I actually earn from this? So day two, like, don't waste my time.
Don't waste your time.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't gonna waste your time. We're gonna talk about money immediately.
Yes, exactly. So not only do we talk about money, we talk about money from the perspective of actually like looking at sort of money blockages we might have as well. So a little bit of mindset stuff in there. Mindset stuff.
I heard you say mindset stuff. You just said it really fast.
Yeah, mind stuff. The day two, we look at some mindset stuff regarding your beliefs around money, what you think you're able to earn, what people are actually earning with examples. We even have a calculator where you can punch in your current expenses to figure out what you might need to earn getting started as your base rate, so that you can continue to live the lifestyle that you have now. So day two, you'll come out of that knowing like what your starting rate can be. And if anyone comes in going, my starting rate's $2 an hour, we tell you otherwise.
There's no way. There's no way it's $2.
Not happening. So actually, I really like that day. It's really empowering. People come out of that feeling like, wow, oh my God, like my stuff is valuable. And it's always so encouraging for me to see people go through that transformation. It's a really cool, empowering experience.
It's a huge unlock too. So, I mean, you're talking about money blockers, which is really around like your sense of self-worth, right?
Yes,
and your feelings about money in general, and asking for money. But the other thing that you're doing is answering the question of, how do I even price this? Like you're giving people the foundation for how do you price your services? And it's not based on what someone is charging on Fiverr. It's based on, what do you need to live, friend?
Yep.
Like you got to feed yourself, don't you?
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. So then on day three, we look at lifestyle design, because as we talked about, it's a lifestyle career. So we look at what kind of lifestyle you can build from this and how you can start doing that already. I can start working towards that. We have a couple of little bonuses on day three, so I'm not going to talk about it, but they're really cool, and it changes a little bit every time. So
it's hilarious because we've done this together multiple times, and I still don't know what the bonuses are. I feel like I'm going to sign up for the VA course.
It's fun.
What the bonuses are. I feel like I'm in the dark. If anybody in my audience has done the VA challenge, come tell me what the bonuses are.
It changes a little bit each time, because we do tailor it to the group. We see where people are having more struggles, and then we change it. But day four, we give you a scary task on day four that gets you out there, that could get you clients. Like we give you a template to go out there, and you might go and get a client on day four. If you have the guts to go and do it, you may well get a client. If you don't get a client, you're going to get feedback. If you don't get feedback, you might get a referral. You're going to get some sort of result from day four.
I like that. I love that you said that, because I feel like people are so afraid to do things because they're afraid to quote unquote fail. And you and I are definitely of the school of thought that failure is data. It's just data. So if nobody responds, that is information. right? It tells you that maybe I
Absolutely.
need to work on my messaging. Maybe I'm not talking to the right audience. So I love that you're making people do that. And either they get a result, either way they get a result, right?
Yeah.
Either that result is a client or it's data.
Exactly.
One or the other.
And the other thing we do is we also talk a lot about the idea of like rejection and failure, because it is when you are self-employed, especially if you're doing the freelancer route and you're going out there and you're prospecting a lot, you're going to get a no sometimes. Yeah. Like you're going to get more no's than you get yeses. Yeah. But I always say no, N-O is new opportunity. Like how to do it better next time.
Exactly.
So we talk about that a lot. And then on day 5, I really can't tell you about day 5 because it is a big secret and it's so fun and it's the best part of the week. And if people stick around till the end, then they see why it's so great.
You just started smiling so much bigger when you started talking about day 5. So
it's so cool. It's so fun.
I believe you. And do they have to be on Facebook or anything to be part of the challenge?
Facebook is essential. Yeah, it's run on Facebook.
Yeah,
and I would say
if they're not on Facebook, what happens?
If you're not on Facebook, you can partake in some of it, but you will miss out. I'm going to be giving you live Q&A sessions. I do a live coaching session. That is all done on Facebook. I would say if you're someone who is wary about being on Facebook, we've had this before, what you could do is open an account just for the duration of the challenge if you'd like to, and you can just join the group. You don't have to like friend anybody, anything like that. However, by the end of the challenge, you may think, actually, Facebook's a really great tool for me to be on to get clients. So I would just, maybe push your ideas on that a little bit and see if it's for you by the end.
I have literally been watching a woman build her business on Facebook, a friend of mine. And she's not even doing anything like super salesy. She's literally just sharing her thoughts, sharing some of the things that she's been doing with her clients. And legit, like I'm watching her business grow like crazy just over the last few months because she's just been posting and sharing about it. All right. Well, Facebook is a great tool. Don't hate, right? Okay, so thank you for coming by, Hannah. I really appreciate you coming and sharing this information with my audience. Just so you know, Hannah and I went through a much longer video on this topic. We went into more detail about her background. We went into way more detail about some success stories from her VA challenge as well. And we answered audience questions. I will post a link to that video below so that you can check it out and get more information. But the most important link that's below is the link to the 5-day VA challenge. So make sure you sign up. And in the meantime, what Hannah and I would love for you to do, because we love talking to people in the comments, do us a favor, drop a comment below and let us know which of the reasons that was called out today is like the biggest one for you. Like if there was one reason for me to be a VA, here's the reason. What would yours be, Hannah? Out of the 5, you can only pick one.
The travel, the location independence.
I don't know why I asked. I know that's both of our reason. Number 5 is definitely going to be the reason for both of us. Totally. I don't have to make more than I make. I would love to just be able to, be anywhere in the world. That's going to be the biggest reason for me for almost anything. The freedom to be wherever I want, whenever I want. I love that.
I think most people are going to choose that, but I'll be curious to see.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see. Please drop in the comments and let us know which of the 5 reasons we shared, or maybe 2 of the bonus reasons would be the biggest reason why you would check out being a virtual assistant. Thanks again for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and feel free to share the video with anybody that you know in your network that is struggling and stuck and ready to do something different. In the meantime, I will see you guys in the next video.
Bye. Thanks for having me.